Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the eveRide channel. My name is Tyler. This is going to be something that we tried and that I guess a lot of people liked. I got a lot of positive feedback, mainly from my patrons and producers. So I'd like to do another one, and this time I'll put a little bit of a cinematic in the beginning. I got that idea from my friend Warren. He made an excellent video of a Scenic Rally that I made a video of, but then he got all of his footage together, made a video of his experience, and said some nice things, but that's not why I'm recommending it. I'm recommending the video because it's really good. So I'll put a card in the upper corner, whatever that corner is. There's gonna be a card to his video. I strongly recommend you go watch that. It's awesome. He does a really good job. He's awesome though. He's become a good friend, and really enjoyed the video. What I'm gonna show you right now is the final there's a bird out there. It's the final Scenic Rally. I don't think I'm going to do Scenic Rallies after this, and I'll explain why during the video. It'll kind of be one of those voiceover formats, and hope you guys like it. A lot of really beautiful footage from this Scenic Rally though. The thing about Scenic Rallies though is all the rallies are really scenic. In fact, Scenic Rallies might be the least scenic because you spend the most time on the road. You know, all the other rallies, shreds, solid, and schooling, you get to see more scenery because you're pushing a little harder. You get to access more places on more capable motorcycles. So I think I'm going to be done with all the Scenic Rallies. So take a good look at this final Scenic Rally and enjoy. Let's get started with a little cinematic. So thank you guys so much for watching. Much love. eveRide out.
I met a girl there in the bright side of a dream. Sweet Arizona, sweet as I had ever seen. Listening to Rolling Stones and rolling in the deep. La la la, la la la, la la la. Drove out to Malibu, got lost along the way. Wound up in Mexico and thought we'd never stay. Cold drinks and hot beaches, we danced the night away. La la la, la la la, la la la. Singing, take me home tonight. I need you in my arms to wake up and feel alive. Sweet Arizona, yeah, I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough, no, I just can't get enough of you. Sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona. Her hair was fire red like red rocks in the sun. Her eyes were stained glass like blue under the glacier runs. Nowhere we're going, still don't know where she came from. La la la, la la la, la la la. Singing, take me home tonight. I need you in my arms to wake up and feel alive. Sweet Arizona, yeah, I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough, no, I just can't get enough of you. Sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona, sweeter than California, sweeter than Tennessee, sweeter than Colorado, sweeter than Georgia peach. Started with conversation, now you're here next to me. 24/7 days of sweet. And Arizona, take me home tonight. I need you in my arms to wake up and feel alive. But I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough, no, I just can't get enough of you. Sweet Arizona, take me home tonight. I need you in my arms to wake up and feel alive. Sweet Arizona, yeah, I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough, no, I just can't get enough of you. Sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's time for me to get into my Bob Ross mode here. My mom called the other day. Her and my dad watch my videos, which is pretty awesome. I mean, I'm proud to say that they watch my videos. They're my biggest fans, which is good. But she was like, yeah, watching you describe these things that you're seeing, just the mellow mode, kind of flow of consciousness. She's like, it's like Bob Ross. And I was like, oh no, and then I was like, wait, I love Bob Ross. So we're going with it. We're going with it again. But yeah, so this is going to be the final Scenic Rally. And maybe we can make some exceptions in the future. But it's not going to be scheduled. I mean, basically, it's if somebody wants to kind of create their own rally, come out and have it be a Scenic Rally, we can do that. But it's not going to be on the schedule. And the main reason is just because they haven't been selling well, and I have this KTM 1190 that is specifically for the Scenic Rallies. And I mean, that's an expensive motorcycle, and it would take me years and years and years to pay that bike off just to, justify the Scenic Rallies, because that's all I really use it for. I'm just not in a good space in my life right now where I can take really long trips, big long adventure rides, and where I have, the Badlands in my backyard. It just doesn't make a lot of sense right now to go away from my family for a long time and leave my wife home with my young children, to go off on long adventures and do that kind of thing. I want to do that really, really badly, but right now in my life, it's just not really feasible. So, heads up, the KTM will come up for auction in an upcoming video, just like the DR650 auction did. So that worked out really well. The guy was really happy with the DR650, and we communicate pretty regularly via text. He's doing some upgrades to it, and he's making it even better. So, yeah, I think I'll do the auction thing soon, and KTM will be on the block. So, but I've loved that bike so far. Anyway, enough talking about that. Right here, I love this shot where I go under these power lines. That's just cool. So I remember in a photography course that I took a long, long time ago, lines was one of the elements of photography that looks really cool. And so instead of, usually I try to cut out power lines because they kind of take away from the vibe of the whole desert scene out there. This is a power line road after all. But a lot of shots I'll kind of try to look away from them. But it's kind of cool because when you're traveling along the path of the line, it kind of does this weird perspective thing that just looks really cool. And I don't know, I like it. Like on that one, you can't see the lines real good. You just see a tower in the background. But here, I'm obviously cutting those out. But anyway, let me tell you about the guys who came on this final Scenic Rally. They both came clear from the East Coast. There was a guy on the Royal Enfield Himalayan named Jeff, and a guy on a Honda CRF 450L, which his name was Randy. And I have to apologize to both of them, really. I had a hard time. I put all the footage on a drive for Jeff at the end of the rally, and for some reason I thought I'd put it on for Randy as well. But anyway, it took me weeks to get Randy his footage to him, all this footage that you're seeing now. And right now it's edited. It's not just the raw clips. Obviously, there's a little less to it, but anyway, right now this is at a place called Flying Monkey Mesa, and just beautiful landscape. I love going up there. We'll go up there on a lot of different rides, not just scenic rides, because it's a nice place to just go and kind of unwind after kind of a tougher ride. We go up there on scenics. I don't think we've been up there on a shred, but we go up there on scenics, but we also go on schoolings and solids. Just when people are a little tired, we'll just make our way up there. And it's this, it's just a beautiful, beautiful area that I put into a lot of my videos, and for good reason. I love going up there. I don't get tired of it. So yeah, a lot of people ask me if I get tired of, the scenery around here or doing the same trails or whatever. And the trails are so varied and beautiful that I just don't care. I love going on them no matter what time of year. But one of the reasons why we're discontinuing the scenic rallies is because to get really far out there, a lot of the times on these big bikes, to make a longer ride worth it, we'll have to travel quite a ways away. And you know, in the wintertime, that's not possible because St. George is kind of in this little warm pocket, and so it's a really good place for riding in the wintertime. However, scenic rallies you can't really do in the wintertime because up here it's snow and ice, and you know, it's not good, and it's really cold. And unfortunately, the times when this becomes available, they release the cows. And so the cows are up there and they rut up the road really, really badly. And then they grade the road, which is a good thing, but not, because then the road is very, very, very silty. And in fact, up here, just before these drone shots were taken, and I'll show you on the GoPro footage later, Jeff twisted his ankle pretty badly, but that's kind of a bummer. So this was on the final day, actually. I went out just with Randy because Jeff's ankle was hurting, and we just went on some, you know, just really nice scenic dirt roads. You might have seen some of this in the Mavic Air 2 review that I did, where, you know, these are the clips that were lucky, you know, long enough that didn't have that gimbal flop. Anyway, it still looks outstanding. The camera on the Mavic Air 2 is really quite stunning. But yeah, I love these roads. This is kind of one that, that's that lines shot right there, where you're just kind of traveling along those power lines, and it looks really cool. I love the look of that. What do you guys feel about the music that I used in the cinematic part of this video? It's kind of funny because we do the cinematic parts like, you know, I'd like to do a video where I do a little bit of vlog, a cinematic part, and then maybe just talk about stuff like this. So let me know what you guys think about that whole, you know, idea, that kind of platform. I kind of think of it as a really low budget, like Top Gear episode, where it has a little something, you know what I mean? Like Top Gear and Grand Tour is one of my favorite shows ever, but I was not a fan of the star in a reasonably priced car. I don't care about celebrities at all or how fast they are, so I would just skip that part. And so I just figure I might as well just skip the parts that you guys, you know, if you guys are watching something like this, you can just skip whatever you don't like, you know. Maybe you like the cinematic and you watch that, and then you'll leave all this babbling out. But whatever you do, it's okay. I get scared to put stuff out there, honestly. I've been worried about putting things out there that people are going to hate or whatever. It's such a politically charged landscape now, and I'm really trying to avoid that, really trying to just kind of do my thing. And it's always kind of been hard to put videos out there. It's scary because you never, I don't know, I get too tuned into what people say. So, yeah, I'm going to try harder and work harder just to release what I can and do my best. And I'm actually writing a video about doing my best with what I have. And, you know, everybody else is too. So here we've gone on to just the footage on the GH5. That's the camera that I wear on my chest. It's a really nice camera. I talked about it enough. But here's some of the trails that we've done out there in the Badlands. These trails actually are going around Warner Valley, which is just a beautiful area. Here's Randy getting a little high. So you probably noticed, even though the bikes are similar displacement, you know, the Royal Enfield Himalayan is a 400, and the 450L is obviously 450. Those bikes are vastly different, and that's one of the problems that we've had on scenic rallies. Is sometimes guys will come on, you know, a big, huge BMW or almost a road bike, you know. So, and then other groups, other members of the group will come on, you know, a KTM 350. So that makes it really hard for me to figure out a trail, and I'm always going to default to the trail that is going to be for what the rally's about, you know. And so I hate dragging the guys on the 350s through, you know, really mellow scenic stuff, but that's what the rally is. And in the end they said, you know, it's kind of my fault because I I booked this rally because it worked for my schedule and not because I was paying attention to what this rally actually is. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why the scenic rallies haven't worked out well. And then besides that, they just haven't sold well. As you can see, there's only 2 guys on this one. I think the top selling scenic rally, we never booked one out, so they just weren't, you know, doing it for me. And we're on to the GoPro footage. I recently got a GoPro Hero 8, and I really like the footage that camera shoots. The stabilization is pretty awesome. It edges out the Sony. I mean, it just kind of looks like it's on rails. It's really nice. However, having the digital stabilization versus the optical stabilization like is in the Sony, every once in a while, if you're going through a bush or something like that, or going next to a bush or something like that, and the scene is not quite right, it fools the GoPro into thinking that you're trying to look at the bush. And so it'll actually kind of do like this head jerk kind of motion on the GoPro. Whereas the Sony, you know, it's an optical thing. It was actually a little bit of a machine inside of the camera that stabilizes the footage, and so there's none of that with the Sony. But even then, it still looks pretty dang good on the GoPro. So this ride was actually a ride that I took with Jeff. Jeff came out and stayed for a couple of weeks before the rally started, and unfortunately that's not going to happen anymore either. You know, we're just going to say people can come stay closer to the rally, but a couple of weeks just didn't really work for us. You know, it's kind of funny, because remember when you were a kid and you went to school, and then like maybe you saw your teacher like at a grocery store, and you were like, whoa, what, wait, what? Like, why is my teacher at a grocery store? Don't they live at the school? And I think a lot of kids think that their teachers just live at the school and eat lunchroom food or something. I don't know. We just don't think about that. And it's interesting, because sometimes when people come, you know, Jeff was very polite with this, but sometimes when people come, it's just kind of like they're surprised that I'm just not always riding a motorcycle, that I'm with my family, you know, most of my life. And there's a big life outside of just riding motorcycles. You know, this is my career and I love doing it. But yeah, I'm not on motorcycles all the time. And sometimes when people come really early to rallies or stay later, they're shocked that I don't have time, or sometimes even desire to get out and ride with them, just to go ride. And, you know, realistically, it's kind of like, you know, seeing your teacher at the grocery store. You're just shocked. You're shocked that Tyler isn't always on a motorcycle. So anyway, I love coming over crests like that, where it's just kind of like, maybe you just had a little bit of a gnarly hill climb, or maybe it was just mellow. But either way, you come up over the crest, and then there's just this beautiful like landscape reveal. I love that. I love it when it happens when I'm on the bike, like right there. I mean, it's just so good with the lines and everything. I love it when I'm on the bike. I love it in the videos. It's always kind of a cool experience. So you can see that up there, Jeff actually has quite a bit of riding gear on, some cooler weather riding gear. We got out pretty early in the morning on this one. And in the springtime in the desert, it's really cold at night and it's really hot in the day. And so generally, you know, during this ride, it was totally cool to have a jacket and then shed the jacket later, which he does. I mean, in a couple of shots, he'll have that jacket off. See, there it is. His jacket's gone. But he has to stash that jacket, right? In the wintertime rides, we'll actually change things up. And so we'll go later in the day, and we'll still get plenty of riding in. But we'll go later in the day and just wear jerseys, and so we're not having to pack extra stuff. So if you ever come on a rally and you're wondering why we're going so late in the day, it's so we don't have to pack extra stuff, and we still get to get plenty of riding in. So up here, Jeff was feeling really good. Everybody was loving the ride so far, and Jeff was feeling really confident. But here he got a little off to the side of the trail and no brake light, just full on, just right into the bush there. And that rattled him up a little bit. He was a totally good sport. He had a good laugh about it and everything. And he was such a trooper. He was like, you know what? You know, it's not riding a dual sport unless you crash once in a while. And he's totally right, you know. Even on the scenic rides and stuff like that, if you're not laying it down occasionally, you know, you're just not really, maybe you're not pushing yourself enough or something. Anyway, he was a little more timid after that. But, you know, got his confidence up until he had a crash that's a little later in the video that we'll show you. But anyway, but here we are, cruising up to the Flying Monkey Mesa. Just a really beautiful area. That part of the ride is just gorgeous. And they recently redid this road, so it looks really good. And it's really smooth. It used to just be full of potholes. It was almost worse than a dirt road, but eventually that road turns to dirt, and you have some beautiful overhangs here. It's just nice to cruise. I mean, I really am gonna miss the scenic rallies. This is gonna show you some of that silt that we get into. You can see Jeff up there really struggling, and I'm just trying to hit the brakes because I don't want to be the one to run into somebody. But up there, he just barely crashed, and I'll pull up there, and he'd hurt his ankle quite bad. So Jeff was kind of interesting because in the beginning, you know, he said, hey, I've got these riding boots, and they were just kind of like the hiking boot style, the combat boot type of style. And he was, you know, I was like, hey, let's go for a ride. And he was like, I'm just going to wear these because you're not my mom. And I was like, all right. But, you know, when the rally started, Jesse and I insisted that he wear armored boots. And after he did that to his ankle, he was like, you know what? I am so grateful you guys made me wear some motocross boots. And he was like, I know I was whining about it all day, about, you know, how difficult it is to shift or whatever. And, you know, just getting used to braking and shifting. But he's like, I can't imagine what my ankle and my leg would look like right now if I wasn't wearing those armored boots. So, you know, all kinds of different boots have different purposes, and you know, if you're just riding road and real mellow stuff, then a riding boot's probably going to do just fine. However, in off-road situations, I stand by it. It's important to have those more solid boots. I've seen so many legs saved, and my legs have been saved over and over by just having good boots, you know. Here we are going up into what I call kind of Zion's back door. It's a place where there's hardly any traffic. I mean, here we are going through, and it's absolutely gorgeous up there, but nobody knows that it's there, really. You know, everybody goes through Zion National Park, which is better, you know, from just like a raw scenery being down in the canyon perspective. But it's generally kind of, I liken it to Small World, is what I've talked about in the past. You know, when you get on Small World at Disneyland, and you're just kind of like factoried through this, you know, processing plant of entertainment. Anyway, sometimes Zion is just very, very crowded, and you're just bumper to bumper going really slow, waiting for everybody to take their selfies, and it's miserable going through like that. It is more scenic, but you know, you get up in here, and it's just a completely free experience. As you can see, there's hardly any cars. Once in a while, there's a local photographer out there taking a shot, stopped at the side of the road, but really, most of the time, it's just breathtaking. And this is another one of those places where, you know, even just watching the footage, I'm like, wow, that is gorgeous. And you got to keep in mind, this is shot on a GoPro, on super view, you know, so the lens is as wide as possible. And so realistically, these hills and mountains are way bigger than they look on camera. And it's just kind of awe-inspiring. It's really a beautiful area. And most people who go through here are just like, wow, that's incredible. And once again, you know, it doesn't have to be a scenic rally for us to go there. You know what I mean? Maybe day 2 on a rally where we pushed real hard on a solid or a schooling or something like that. You know, we're on dual sport motorcycles. We can go wherever we feel like. So, you know, if the weather is good, we can get up in there. So this is day 3, the morning. Jeff decided not to go riding with us. And so Randy and I wanted to not push it too hard, but I just kind of wanted to show him some cooler parts of different trails. And so we cruised up through this area. And, you know, I never like to show people crashing or anything like that. Randy here backs up a little bit. I'm just going to help him out with my front tire there. But Randy was awesome. He was such a cool guy and good rider. And he's just, oh, that bike is just a little too tall. And he drops it. And right here, you know, I turn off my bike. I'm saying, hey, can I come help you? And he just straight up was like, no. And he just muscled the bike up. He works out a lot. He's in good shape. I mean, he's older than I am, but he is in way better shape. But anyway, so we kind of cruised along, not necessarily more difficult trails after the day went by, just, you know, kept cruising. Just the first of the day, we kind of wanted to warm up, and Randy handled it really well on that 450L. He let me ride it for a little bit, and I think it's the second one that I've been on. And I really liked it. I can't believe how quiet that bike is. I'm actually jealous of the quietness. I'm definitely done with having loud exhausts. And, you know, to each his own. You can have whatever you want on your motorcycle, but for as much as I ride, I'm done with loud. It's just grating, and, you know, getting on that 450L and having all the power and all of the suspension, and that's a nice bike for sure, but it was quiet and I loved that. So anyway, I was a little jealous afterwards, but anyway, we come on this route quite often on different rallies. Some of the solid epic rallies that we've done in the past that last a week, we've come through here. This is an area where John Beeman and I went like 80 miles an hour down the whole thing. It was amazing, but I cut it off early. Sorry. But here we are going up a route that actually feeds into I-15. So nobody wants to ride on the freeway on their dual sport. You know, that's not very scenic. However, this does make it worth it. It's really a pretty little ride through the desert that the only outlet is on I-15 through this place called the Gorge. And the Gorge is pretty amazing. It's on the border between Arizona and Utah. And going through there is just outstanding. But now we've cut to later in a state park close to my house. And luckily, Jeff was feeling a little bit better. His ankle felt better, so he hopped on the bike later that day. And funny enough, Randy had actually brought a Goldwing and and this Kawasaki, I believe it's a 900, all the way out from Florida. So he brought 3 bikes, and it was really cool because he let us go out. I got to ride on the Goldwing and the Kawasaki. After we went through this state park here, I was on the 1190, and we actually, you know, might have done some rolling drag races between that 900 and the 1190. And in normal mode, the 1190 lost easy. But when you put the 1190 in sport mode, it just grunted, and it's like the first time I've had it in sport mode to actually like go fast, and it was kind of terrifying. Like, I would pull way ahead, and then we'd get up to about 120 miles an hour, and I couldn't do any more. So I would just kind of let off, and then Randy would pass me on the 900 because he's like gutsy like that. So just barely, maybe you heard it, my little one come up and he was whispering to me. He wanted to show me his new dinosaur. That is my life right now. Trying to get a lot of work done or anything like that, projects, voiceovers. It's a lot of kids. My house is kind of home base for the kids in the neighborhood, which is fine. So yeah, this took a lot longer than expected just to go through and do like a stream of thought, kind of a vlog here, you know, a voiceover vlog. But anyway, you guys, we're just about at the end of the footage. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this. I know it's kind of different from what's traditionally on YouTube. I haven't really been traditional on YouTube. I try to kind of mix things up. There's a lot of channels who are so much more cinematic now than I have ever been, and a lot more channels with a lot of good information. So I'm just trying to kind of find my own niche again, and try to figure things out. So you guys, that is it for this video. We'll end with a really nice sunset that the GoPro can't quite figure out with the stabilization. But anyway, much love, you guys, and have great rides this summer. eveRide out.